How to begin? How to describe this very unorthodox family? Well, first there's Cai. He was born a girl. Then there's Emily. She was born a boy. Two young people who grew up in a state of utter confusion, feeling so alone, so different. Yet Cai and Emily met, fell in love, and were married. Now that may seem strange in itself, but it's just the beginning. Enter little Dante, the baby who was supposed to be a medical impossibility. Impossible because Emily can't have children. So you're about to find out just what happens when it's Dad who has the baby. This is a story about a boy who grew up to be a woman. And a girl who grew up to be a man. 28-year-old Emily and Cai, 23, met, fell in love, and very soon after got married. So it was instant attraction?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Never seen anything like it before. I thought it only existed in fairy tales.
I think within 3 weeks of that first date, I was essentially living at her apartment. It doesn't go in your mouth, buddy.
And 9 months after that, little Dante was born. An accident they never thought could happen.
I know you can play it, Dante. You do it all the time.
And perhaps he is the most remarkable part of this unusual story. For it was his father, Cai, who gave birth to him.
Dante.
Do you feel like Mum or Dad?
I really do feel like his dad.
And Emily, for you?
I've always felt like Mom.
Because biologically you're Dad.
Yeah, in a genetic standpoint, yes. But in an actual standpoint, no, I'm Mom. I'm Dante's mother. That's who I am, and that's who I've been. That's who I always will be.
Why don't you take it?
However Dante came into the world, this is a family whose joy comes after many years of pain and confusion.
It's hard to explain to someone who hasn't been there what it feels like to be disconnected from your own physical body, to not have a connection with the person you see in the mirror.
So how did you cope with it?
I told people this when I was like 14. It's like, I don't know, whose body this is, but it's not mine because mine would be different. I don't know why, in what way, but mine would be different.
You were born a boy, your mum called you Scott. When did you realise you weren't comfortable with that?
Pretty early, probably about the time I was 8 or 10, I started to realize that there was something different about me, something that just seemed off.
You can't imagine anything more difficult. At 16, Scott decided to switch genders and became Emily. At 20, Joyce became Cai.
So I have to inject it, then I draw back just a little to
For
make
both
sure
of them,
that
their
I'm not
transition
getting
to the
blood.
opposite sex
A little.
means a weekly dose of hormones for life.
So I'm getting a high dose, and that's going to force a second puberty, basically. Grow hair, my voice drops, things like that.
Last time you were growing into a woman, this time you're growing into a man.
Exactly, and that makes a difference there, that I want these things to happen.
So going through puberty again, these needles for the rest of your life, is it all worth it?
Oh, absolutely. Did you get the card I sent?
I got your card. I appreciate the card very much.
Kai's decision to become a man has been embraced by his father, Paul, though he admits it's not always easy to think of your daughter as your son.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like Dante's getting hungry, so.
Thank God she would come to me with it, because I know it was a very, very hard thing for Cai to do that. And for him to say, I am a him and not a her, that's a huge, huge burden that Cai had been taking on all of this time.
It's interesting, you said both she and he in the same sentence.
Yeah, because I am trying to transition to think of Cai as my son. I always think of Cai as my child. I mean, no matter what. I mean, Cai is my flesh and blood, and love Cai for that. But, I had 20-some years before that, so it's hard.
I think he's getting a little cranky.
Hungry, hasn't anything to eat for a while.
Now he reminds me of you when you were a baby.
10 years ago, Emily told her mum, Lynn, her son no longer existed. Instead, he'd become the daughter Lynn never had.
I was helping to give you food. You're losing a son and gaining a daughter. It is sort of not quite like a death, but there is some element of loss there when the child that you knew all these years is not really there anymore, but somebody else is in his place.
Do you ever have doubts about your identity?
I mean, from time to time, everybody's got doubts. I remember one morning I was at church and there was a couple there with a newborn baby, just a couple days old. And I remember sitting there, and it was physically painful for me watching them walk up with that baby to the altar, because I'm sitting there going, that's what I want, and I never get to have that.
Would you describe that pain as a maternal instinct?
I think it's more just a human instinct to raise your child and have them carry on your legacy.
By pursuing their true identities, Emily and Cai had sacrificed the idea of ever having children. Neither had had gender reassignment surgery, but the hormones are so powerful, it was considered medically impossible. So you're on female hormones that are meant to make you sterile. You're chemically castrated.
Essentially,
yeah.
And you still make a baby.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I mean, talk about, having help somewhere.
Yeah.
I love this baby, and he's not even here yet.
Having a baby was such an impossibility, it took Cai and Emily 7 months to work out Cai was pregnant. 7 months?
7 months. And it was just like, okay, I should have been able to tell. Like, afterward, people are like, well, didn't you feel the baby move? I'm like, well, it doesn't come with a manual. I didn't know what it was. I thought my stomach was upset.
Thought you had gas.
I thought I had an upset stomach. Like, I didn't get any morning sickness. I
got morning sickness.
I put on maybe 18 pounds.
I got all the symptoms.
Yeah.
So you're telling everyone, your friends and family, that you're a man, that's how you want to be treated, and then you have to tell them you're pregnant.
Most of my friends took the news fairly well. I mean, people were a little confused.
I still remember that conversation with your one friend. He was like, no.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Really?
No. Yes.
I was delighted. I mean, I wanted to be a grandparent. I just didn't know it was going to happen this soon.
But how do you explain that your son-in-law is now expecting a child?
Well, that's
a difficult one, isn't it?
The people that know us well, it was easy to explain. I've had to make a choice of either telling the whole story or none of it. You get that's kind of how it is.
As far as we can tell, this is me going into labor.
Just 6 weeks after discovering he was pregnant, Cai goes into labour.
I suppose he's gonna show up when he feels like it.
They have a 3-hour drive to the hospital, and all the while, Kai's contractions are getting stronger.
By the time we got to the hospital, those contractions were less than 2 minutes apart.
I know I said I wanted to do this without meds, but my God, if this is gonna go on like this for another 12 hours, you gotta give me something.
But it was too late for pain relief. Within half an hour of arriving at the hospital, Dante was well on his way to being born.
Oh God!
I want to know, did you handle the birth pain like a man or like a woman?
I hate to think that, like, you could say, well, how does a man handle pain versus how does a woman handle pain? Because I'll tell you, that hurt.
Very good. Push the baby out. Baby's heartbeat is down a little bit.
Come on, push.
Can you tell me, did you feel like a man delivering a baby, or did you feel like a woman at that point?
I mean, I didn't feel either way, really. It was just me. To me, it wasn't attached to being something that a woman does or something that a man does. It was just something that I was doing.
But you claimed to feel like a man.
Yes.
So didn't it freak you out?
It did, and it didn't.
Get up there. Let the pediatrician check.
You did it. You did beautiful. I don't have any words right now.
Did you ever suffer an identity crisis because you wanted to be mum, but you were never going to be pregnant?
There's a little bit of jealousy because admittedly, yeah, I was a little envious that, seeing my husband go through all the things that I wanted to go through.
Congratulations. You did a great job. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, everybody's here with everything on.
Oh God. He's got your eyes. They're all like hazel, kind of. Emily, we had a baby.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thanks. Oh my God.
I mean, high energy, but... Oh.
10 months on, Dante is a healthy, normal baby, and Emily has had gender reassignment surgery. Her body now matches her brain. She is physically and psychologically a woman.
Most people in my life don't even know that I am transgender, and there have been times where I felt, am I good enough at doing this? Do people really, think I'm a woman, or do they just think I'm some crazy person that's, gallivanting around or something? So do you want to take the little monster man for a moment?
I would love to take the little monster. Hey, baby.
Do you think she pulls it off?
I think so.
Yeah. I didn't know she wasn't. Until they came to us and said, oh yeah, we've got a problem here. And okay, so Emily, you're the father? It was like, because I had met Emily a couple months before, and I thought Emily was Emily.
You had no idea?
I had no idea.
Wow.
So yeah, she does pull it off quite well.
Can you guys believe you've got him?
It's amazing.
It's still like just hard to believe
Yeah.
that he is ours, and...
We made you. Yes, we did.
Now that Dante is here, Cai is a stay-at-home dad and has resumed his testosterone injections, but is still unsure about surgery.
The surgery that I would need to make me 100%, that surgery doesn't exist. The one person that I talked to that had almost perfect surgery, it took 18 revisions. And he's got scars on his arms and on his stomach where they pulled tissue from to do that.
So what you're talking about is surgery for a penis?
Yes.
So what you're saying is you don't need a penis to be a man?
Exactly. You don't. It's not about genitalia. Because if you ask somebody, if you ask your average guy on the street, if you got into a car accident and your penis got cut off in the accident, do you stop being a man?
Yeah, like when I'm at work, people just assume that I'm just your average mother with a kid and a husband.
Doing the juggling act?
Yeah.
But not everyone is as oblivious or kind as Emily's colleagues at the credit union where she works. She and Cai have been the target of some hurtful attacks, mainly over the internet.
I saw people that said that we shouldn't be allowed to have children, that we were going to confuse him growing up.
Do you worry about that at all?
I do a little bit.
No doubt their lives are complicated. Cai and Emily's path has not been easy, nor has it been their choice. But now with Dante to complete their family, they're the happiest they've ever been. And they're convinced Dante will grow up happy too. Whee! What will you tell Dante?
We'd be upfront with him,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, just explain to him that, this is the situation. Doesn't mean that you're different, doesn't mean that there's anything wrong.
This is how you came to be. We did things a little differently, but you're our kid and here you are. So there's nothing wrong with that.
And I'm your dad, and I'm your mum.
Yeah. Mommy couldn't have babies, so Daddy did it for her.
And there we go.
That's, yeah.
Hello, I'm Amelia Adams. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for our brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.